Hi YouTube, this is Diva Kiki. Hi everybody. I am just coming to say hello to all of my subscribers. Hi. Hello to my new and my old. I'm just coming to you right now to give you an update on what's going on in my life. I haven't been posting a lot of videos. One of the reasons is because I have been packing to move. I am moving on Friday the 20th of May, even though my lease at my place I'm at now is not up until June 14th. I'm moving on May 20th to my new townhome. Yay! I am moving into a townhome, and I am so excited. Just to give you a little bit of my testimony, I had applied for a house. It was a condo house. I had applied for that in April and was denied. So then I found a townhome that was away across the street from my son's school. Huge, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, a lot of closets that would have accommodated me for my shoes and everything, and was denied for that one also. So after I was denied twice, I came home that night. I was denied for the second one, and that day, and I came home, and I was so sad when I found out at work that I was denied, because I was for sure that I at least got the one that was across from his school. And I was so sad after I got the bad news. And you know, I'm always perky. I'm always, always happy. But even as a minister and even being saved, I had a challenge. And I had a touch with my faith. And yes, I had faith I was going to get the first one. I had faith I was going to get the second one. But I went to the throne on that day that I got denied. I was so sad at work. I cried at my desk. I just kept saying, Lord, what am I going to do? I don't have anywhere for me and my son to go, and I don't want to renew my lease where I'm at. I already told them I'm moving, and Lord, why, what's going on? And I'm like, Lord, what is it that you want me to learn out of this? So I get home, and I let my son know as I picked him up from after school care that I didn't get it. And I had to tell him that while we're looking at it, as we're walking to the car and we're seeing the home. So I came home, and that night I cried and I prayed to the Lord, and I said, Lord, you know what I need. You know that I have nowhere for me and my son to go. You know that I don't want to move back in with my grandparents because me and my mom can't live together. And that's just something that can't happen, because my mom and I love my mom, but we can't live together. So I prayed to God, and I said, God, you know what I need. You know the desires of my heart. And I said, God, you know what? I'm done with it. I give it to you. And I tell you, God, you go ahead and take over. You put me where you want me and my son to be. You put me where you want me to go. I said, Lord, from now on, you're in charge. I said, I'm not in charge. I keep thinking that I can be in charge, but I'm not. I said, Lord, but you're the one in charge. I give it to you. Put us where you want us to go. You do it. Do you all know? The very next day I get to work. Overnight, the Lord had laid on my heart to had brought back to my memory the place that I had planned to apply at before I applied where I'm at now. And the only reason I didn't apply there was because here had gave me $100 off of my rent per month, which made it lower. But sometimes, how many of you know that cheaper is not always better? I've always learned cheaper sometimes is not always better. So I went ahead and I went online at the place that the Lord gave me overnight. That morning I got to work. I went online. I said, I'm going to do it first thing I get in the morning. I couldn't even hardly sleep that night because I kept thinking about it. I went ahead and I went inside. I went on the internet. I looked at the place. I looked at how much the rent was. And I looked at the townhomes. And the most that they have are 2-bedroom townhomes. Well, hello, it's just me and my son. I only was going to use the third room for clothes and shoes. So I said, okay. So I called and I asked the guy. The guy that answered was like, God sent. You know what I'm saying? The guy that answered the phone was so nice. And it took me by surprise how nice he was. I never had called a complex or called somewhere and the people were nice as he was. The guy was very nice, and I was overwhelmed with that. And he answered all the questions, and he was just giving me information. He's like, this is a 2-bedroom, and it's something. He was just like, oh, going on. And, of course, the other 2 places that I applied at was more than where I'm at now, where I applied at. And so I said, okay, well, God, is this where you want me to go? And I said, well, Lord, I told you last night, put me where you want. So I took another chance and I paid another application fee. At the time, the application fee was normally $50. They had, if you do your application online before the 1st of May, you would get $25 off of the application fee. So I said, okay. I went ahead and I did the application fee online. He called me back in like 10 minutes from me putting the application in online. And he was like, is it okay for me to run your application through? And I said, sure, go ahead and run it through with the credit card that he already had on a file. Go ahead. He called me back in about an hour. And before he called me back, I had my girlfriend come over from her desk, and I said, I called her phone. I said, I need you to come over to my desk immediately. And I had her come over there, and I had her have prayer with me. Even sometimes the minister got to get somebody to pray for me. You know, even though I pray, but I needed somebody to touch and agree with me. So she came over and she prayed, and within an hour, he called me and he said, Miss, I just want you to know we got you approved. So they approved me, and normally the deposit is $300 based on your credit, and if your credit is bad, it'll be $1,000. So the minimum is $300 if your credit is good. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to say I got to pay $500 or I got to pay $1,000. Y'all, he said that I had to pay $300 deposit. And that's it. Then on top of that, he said, this is what I'm going to do for you today. He said it just like that. This is what I'm going to do for you today. Miss Knight, I'm going, because he knew my lease wasn't up until June 14th at my old place. He said, I'm going to waive May's rent. And you won't have to pay the first rent until June 1st. OMG. I was like, oh, I didn't even know what to say. And I blurted out and I was like, Andrew, his name was Andrew. I said, thank you. Thank you so much. And the way he said, this is what I'm going to do for you today. This is a special for you today. It was like God was just speaking through him. And he said, I'm going to waive May's rent. You won't have to pay for anything but June. Starting June 1st. Y'all, who would not serve a God like this? I'm going to continue this on the next video in just a moment. There's a part 2.